Hi, this is Chitra Divakaruni, author of The Forest of Enchantments, my novel about Sita told in her own voice. Today it is my pleasure to share some of my favorite books with you for quarantine reading. Here is The Liberation of Sita by Volga. I was most intrigued by this book and its very original take on the characters from the Ramayana. A very different kind of book, Olive Kittredge by Elizabeth Strout. This is a collection of connected stories that will surprise us with life in small town America and the secrets hidden there as we read it. One of my favorite books, The Sea of Poppies, a great historical novel by Amitav Ghosh, filled with adventure, details, and a lot of interesting information about the Opium Wars. If you're feeling adventurous and you want to try a big book, here is Americana by Chimamanda Adichie about life in Nigeria and among Nigerian Americans. It has wonderful scenes of American life, immigrant life, and it's a great love story as well. Finally, one of my favorites that I keep coming back to over and over, this is The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama. He has some amazing, wonderful, and wise things to say about life under stress, how to be happy when things are not going well, and how to be compassionate. I hope you enjoy all these books. Thank you. This is Chitra Divakaruni. Happy quarantine.
Hi, my name is Shaheen. First of all, I hope that you're well. I hope that you're managing to stay safe and somehow sane in these very surreal times that we're living in. We're going through something right now that we don't have a roadmap for. This has never happened, I think, in our generation, in our parents' generation, in the generation before that. What's happening right now is completely new. And any situation like this is bound to create a whole bunch of uncertainty. It's bound to create a whole bunch of stress and fear and anxiety. And so I just want to talk to you for a second about the importance of your mental health in this time. And I want to talk about three things that I'm sort of doing to keep my mental health in check for the next 21 days and probably the time after that, because we don't really know how long this is going to last. So the first thing that I'm doing is that, the first thing that you learn in therapy when you have depression or anything like that, the first thing that you learn is the importance of a routine. They teach you how grounding a routine can be in times when there's instability in your emotional world. And at present, there's not only instability in our emotional worlds, there's instability in our actual physical worlds, in the world around us. And in that, it's very important to somehow find some way to root yourself, to ground yourself, to center yourself. And so it's very important to keep a routine going, even though you're not going to work every day, even though you don't have anywhere to physically be. It's very important to still treat your days in much the same way that you were doing that before. So for me personally, what that means is I wake up at the same time every day. I go to bed at the same time every day. I try to eat my meals at regular times. I'm trying not to be erratic about when I'm eating. I'm doing something to ground myself every day. So even if it's not working, I'm a writer, so I am able to do a little bit of work, but it's not a lot right now given how I'm feeling. So the way I'm trying to ground myself is I'm trying to do something at the same time every day. So for me right now, that's also talking to someone, talking to a loved one. I'm trying to do that at the same time every single day. So that's giving me something to look forward to in my day. It's giving me some form of, timing to adhere to. And that brings me to thing number 2. One of the hardest things to do right now is be separated from our families and our friends and our loved ones, like many of us are. I personally haven't seen my parents in about a week and a half, which for me is quite hard. I haven't seen my friends in a very long time. So the thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to connect with them. I'm trying to spend as much time as I can talking to them, in contact with them. So whether that's over the phone, over a video call, over a text message, I'm doing my best to stay in touch with the people that I love and the people that I care about. it's giving me a sense of connect to the world outside my four walls, and B, it's making me feel like I'm not just here by myself, I have someone to talk to, and I think that's incredibly important. So the second thing that I've been doing is talking to my loved ones. And the third thing that I'm doing is that I am finding an activity to do every single day. So like I said, I'm a writer, but I also journal a lot, and that's not writing for work. It's journaling and talking about how I'm feeling, and sort of sharing my thoughts, putting it down on a piece of paper. I journal. I'm taking time to watch shows that I like. I'm taking time to exercise every single day. I'm taking time to eat well. I'm not just because I'm stuck at home, I'm not sitting and polishing off a cheese sandwich every single day. I'm trying my best to stay as healthy as I can, and I think that's a really important thing to do, is find an activity throughout the day, whether that's journaling, whether that's exercise, whether that's cooking, watching a TV show at the same time. I think find some way to take care of yourself, find some way to actively engage in the process of looking after your mental and physical well-being. So these are the three things that are really helping me. Aside from that, I'm going to give you a fourth actually, and the fourth thing that I will say is that I think it's incredibly important in this time. Like I said, we have no roadmap for this. This has never happened before. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not have a grip on things. I think a lot of us are beating ourselves up about the fact that we're feeling afraid, that we're feeling scared, we're worried that we're overreacting or underreacting. There's no right way to do this. So I think allow the feelings to come as they're coming. Give yourself that leeway, give yourself the opportunity to feel the length and breadth of your feelings. Treat yourself with kindness. This is a hard time for everyone, and it's something that we have to work on one day at a time. We're figuring this out one step at a time, us, everyone around us. This is a long road, so please look after your mental health. Please make sure that you take the time to eat well and sleep well, and look after yourself.
Hi guys, this is Amish. Many of us are in self-isolation these days across the world, as am I. I'm in London right now, and someone wanted me to speak of the books that I'm reading at this point in time, what I'm doing at home. I'm of course working from home in my as you guys are aware, I have a diplomatic role in London. I am writing as well, but I'm taking this time to read as well, and these are the books that I am actually reading at this point in time. So the first is something that I just received from India, Pawan Verma's Tulsidas ji's Ramcharitmanas, and analysis of it. I have yet to start it. I'm just about to start. It's the greatest ode to Lord Ram, and it is, as I'm sure you're aware, the original Ramayana was of course the Valmiki Ramayana, but Tulsidas ji's Ramcharitmanas is truly the high point of the devotional versions of the Ramayana. Tulsidas ji was from the same land that my father's family comes from Kashi, from Banaras. In fact, it is said that he composed much of the Ramcharitmanas out there. So I'm really looking forward to reading brilliant diplomat and scholar Pawan Verma's book on this. Then the next book is by a friend of mine called Chintan Chandrachud. This is the title is The Cases That India Forgot. I'm kind of a quarter of the way through it. Chintan is a brilliant lawyer based right here in London now, but obviously of Indian origin. He's an Indian, and he analyzes 10 cases that India has forgotten, but actually had far-reaching impact, and some of them are actually shocking. Which brings me to the next book. Ironically, that's another book that I'm kind of halfway through. 16 Stormy Days by Tripur Daman Singh. The First Amendment, I don't know how many of you are aware, it is of course ironic that the First Amendment guarantees freedom of expression in the US, but in India it actually regrettably restricts freedom of expression. This amendment was brought in post the acceptance of the constitution by a constituent assembly, where the Indian public accepted that constitution, but before the first election. So it was done in 1951, and it was done through a process that took just 16 days. And Tripur Daman Singh analyzes the series of events which led up to that amendment. And then there is a book that I had read sometime back, The Darkening Age by Catherine Nixie. And I felt like flipping through it again, and I thought I will just share this with you. It speaks of the Christian destruction of the classical world. Worth reading. Do check it out. That's it as far as I'm concerned. Keep reading. It's a great habit. Of course, read my books, but check out these books as well. Take care. Bye.
I'm Chef Chinu Wazir, and I'm going to make some hummus from my book Party Like a Star by Penguin Random House. So I've soaked some Kabuli chana here, which I'm going to drain. Soaked it overnight. It was about 1 cup. I'm going to quickly just put it into the pressure cooker. Cover it with water. About 5-6 whistles. Let it cool down. And remember to keep the water, okay? So the easiest way to roast garlic, cut off the tip like this. Pour some olive oil, put the garlic in like this. Sea salt or any kind of salt. Some more olive oil on top. Fold it up and throw it into the oven. As you can see, this kind of just squishes out. And it's super good for all kinds of things. Okay, we're gonna put in some roasted garlic. We're gonna put in 2 cups of the chana. I'm gonna put in some of this water. This is tahini, which you can also make at home. And I'm gonna put in some jalapenos. Let's give this a bit of a whiz. As you can see, it's become super creamy. Now I'm gonna add lemon juice, about 1 tablespoon, some salt, and we're gonna pour in some olive oil to top it, make it like super creamy. So this is my jalapeno moringa hummus. There's also recipes on how to pickle jalapenos, make your own tahini and ragi lavash in my book. Bon appetit!
Hi, I'm Ravinder Singh. I'm an author. Folks, as you all know, we are going through a difficult time in which we have quarantined ourselves. We are now living in self-isolation. It is also important not to lose the sanity of mind. While there are great sources of entertainment and we are consuming in audio-video format, there is one source of entertainment which I would highly recommend because it brings a lot of positivity instead of draining your energy out, and that's reading. I've been asked to recommend 5 books to the viewers, and I'm holding all 5 of them. There are some of them which I have finished reading very recently. There is one that I'm reading right now, and there are some that I look forward to read. So here are my recommendations for you. The first one is Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. It's a fascinating world of Kafka in which it talks about experiences of souls stepping out of human bodies. There are people talking to cats, there are fishes falling from the sky. I don't know which genre to put this one in, but it's a fascinating read. The next recommendation, which I'm reading, and you can see the marker, is The Swap by Shuma Raha. There's just a couple of words that I want to speak for this novel. It is a world of swinging couples. The story is set in Delhi, and there I said it all. Do give it a read. The next one is Vichoda by Harinder Sikka. In case you have not picked this book, please go ahead and do that. Harinder Sikka's very first novel was a raging success, Calling Sehmat, based on which the movie Razi was made. And this is another fascinating story of an Indian woman who comes from Pakistan. Okay, let me not reveal the entire plot. Give it a read and you will like it as much as you loved reading Calling Sehmat. The next one is by my friend Ashwin Sanghi, his new one, The Vault of Vishnu. It's an exciting and shadowy world of Ashwin Sanghi in which myth and history blend together. I look forward to read you, Ashwin, very soon. The last one from my very good friend, again, Wish I Could Tell You by Durjoy Datta. It's his new one. I have read all of his works, and this is the only one which is pending. And I'm so damn sure that this is going to be an exciting read as the rest of his works. So those are my recommendations to you folks. Keep reading, stay sane, stay healthy. God bless you all.
Hi friends, this is Rana Safi. I'm a historian, author. I love reading books, and of course I write books and I research books. I've been reading ever since I was a child, and my earliest memories are of going with my sisters to buy books. And obviously the first book any child in the 60s and the 70s bought was Enid Blyton. I have kept all my books very carefully, and this book is from 1969, given as a gift to me by my mother. My mother's no more, but the memory still is. From Enid Blyton, I graduated on to other books. My parents had a very strict rule that if we read popular books, we also had to read classics. And that is something I would ask parents of small children to do today also, especially now that you have time. Read out to them and make them read classics. I remember reading Jane Austen, the Bronte sisters, Leo Tolstoy, and all those books that were considered classical literature. And humor has always been a very big part of my life. And so it was, I suppose, no surprise that I fell in love with P.G. Wodehouse and Uncle Galahad and Uncle Fred. There's a book about them called Uncle Fred in the Springtime, and of course the Blanding series. These were my absolute favorites. And not to forget, Smith, The P is Silent. The life was never the same after I read P.G. Wodehouse, and I still remember sitting in different corners of the house and all of us chuckling over our copies of P.G. Wodehouse. And I would recommend that to everybody. And it's not simple humor. There are layers and layers within it, as well as satire on a particular class. Another book that I'd recommend is The Mirror of Beauty by Professor Shamsur Rahman Farooqi. It paints an entire civilization in rapturous detail. It talks about the end of the Mughal Empire. It talks about poetry, about the way people lived and the way people behaved. And for those who are interested in history and are interested in romance, I think this is a wonderful book to read. Another book I'd like to recommend is India in the Persianate Age. It's a book I've just finished reading, and it's highly recommended for understanding India.
Folks, we are living in extremely uncertain times. And in such situations, I have two pieces of advice for you so far as investing your money is concerned. Number one, since no one knows when normalcy will return and when we can resume normal work, I think we should be prepared for the worst. So the first piece of advice is sit on liquid cash that can last you for a fairly long time, maybe 1 year or so. But within every calamity, there lies opportunity. Now, the silver lining to these dark clouds of the coronavirus pandemic are the crazy valuations of even blue chip stocks that are available on the stock market today. So my second piece of advice to all of you who felt from time to time that they've missed the bus, well, the good news is the bus just took a U-turn and is headed right back for you. It's time to jump on. Consult your broker, speak to your financial advisor. If you have friends who understand technical analysis, chat with them. But this is a great time to get in. Don't catch a falling knife, as they say. So wait for the knife to touch the ground before you pick it up. But since there is no guarantee for that, maybe it's not a bad idea to start accumulating every time the market falls. This would also be a good time to look up my book, Financial Affairs of the Common Man. Take care and look after yourselves.
Hi, I'm Nazia Irum, author and communications professional, and I've been given the task to recommend 5 books to read during the lockdown. So here I go. Let me start with Jane Borges, Bombay Bulchow, and Rana Safi's Shah Jahanabad. 2 books that make you relook at cities in a way that probably we missed. This is a very poetic take at Bombay, and this is a very historical take at Delhi. Do try to read up. Next is a book that was recently gifted to me by a friend, philosopher and guide. Dina's book, The Ungrateful Refugee. It actually makes you question all the privileges that you have today. A privilege of a home during a lockdown, to be locked down in. This book will make you think twice about all the people across the world who do not have the same privilege. A bit more Bollywood. What is the list without Bollywood? Because Irfan Khan, the man who slows down time for me. So this is the book to read during a lockdown for me, because to know this man who is probably fighting a difficult time in his life. Prayers for all of us and prayers for Irfan, but try to read this book by Aseem Chhabra. Last, a very apt book. Have a Little Faith is what we need today. This book is about healing and about having hope in these times. So that's my list of 5 books. Other than that, please do read up on cooking, gardening, and how to keep your house clean. And stay safe. Bye.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.